la Yahweh. Boy, Shema Mashak Yahusha. Shema Yashabella Yahweh Alahayana Wakadabon Mashbaka. Shalom, may peace, serenity, and prosperity be applied unto you all. All right. I plan to make this lesson quick and effective. However the Holy Spirit guides us, we will move accordingly. Now, I want to expound on something that was touched this past Shabbat. And it's an emphasis on wisdom. Yeah, specifically, we're going to expound and add a contextual understanding to Isaiah 33:6. Isaiah 33:6 states, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." Okay, so during this past Shabbat, we got a breakdown on that by the Spirit, completely unplanned for on the covering of it. And I took the time to put together some more precepts to further our understanding about wisdom being the stability of our times, okay? Especially during these times that we're living in right now, you know, with the awareness of what's going on here in the Western Hemisphere of the world, right? And I'm only going to say that in so many words. You all should be able to catch my drift by now. Now, without this wisdom and knowledge, many people are moving about this world lost. And in the same token, they're being destroyed because of this lack of wisdom and knowledge. They're being destroyed by their own devices. With that being said, we want to be sure that we're staying on fire at these times, right? If you found your spirit dwindling and not burning as bright as it should be, not so much ablaze as it should be, now is the time to start mustering up some strength to do so. Salakia. We want to be muscling up the strength. Salakia. We want to be muscling up the strength accordingly, so that way we're on the right side of history, especially with all of the events that are taking place and building momentum and adding to the suspense of Triple W. We want to be sure that we're in line with the Most High, because at the end of the day, the Most High is making all of this happen, right? The Most High is making all of this happen right now. I want to have us jump to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 1, starting at verse 7. And it reads, "The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge." The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. Okay, so we all know some fools. There's some fools going about running amok right now that are not taking heed to this godly wisdom and that the Most High is being made available through the way of his prophets. You know, like I said earlier, they're worried about all forms of carnality. They're worried about things of their own endeavors. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be handling our personal matters, but the overall foundation should be this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. Because at the end of the day, it's by his will that these things are happening. All right? It's by his will that these things are happening. Verse 8. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. What's being said here? Is it talking about your carnal mother and father? It is talking about knowledge and wisdom. That's what Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8 is speaking of. Knowledge and wisdom. The same wisdom and knowledge that brings about stability is the same father and mother that is being spoken of here in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8. Continuing forward here, verse 9. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. So that's how valuable this knowledge and wisdom is. It's as valuable as fine jewelry, right? An ornament of grace on your head and chains about your neck. That's the regard we should have with knowledge and wisdom. That is the regard we should have. It should be something that we wear with elegance, right? We wear it on our person. We move about with knowledge and wisdom. The same knowledge and wisdom that is from the heavenly realm that we're talking about right now. Let's jump down to verse 20. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. Verse 21. She crieth in the chief places of concourse, in the openings of the gates in the city. She uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So the fools, the scorners, and the simple ones are all in one category. They lack the wisdom of the Most High, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding pertaining to the kingdom of the Most High. They lack it. And this lack of that such wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is going to lead to destruction. See, these same individuals are worried about what's going on in pop culture. They're more tuned in to what's going on in the sports world. They're more tuned in on what's going on politically and not spiritually. Anything spiritual that pertains to the Most High's business, they don't give a damn about. All right? So that's who is being spoken of here in Proverbs chapter 1, verses 20 through 22. Continuing forward here in verse 23. turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. So that's wisdom crying out. That's wisdom uttering her voice in the streets. See, when the messengers of the Most High post these videos where such wisdom is being spewed out, such wisdom is being made available by the crying aloud and the sparing not of the messengers of the Most High, it is making itself readily available to be received. From these videos to the social media posts to the Akim that are out in the highways and hedges crying aloud. That is wisdom making itself known. But only a select few are going to actually take heed. Verse 24. Because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. So these same people that are ignoring this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that should be the stability of our times is being made mention here in verse 24. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 25. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. Completely ignoring such knowledge and wisdom. Completely doing away with it. Completely just tossing it behind your back. That is what's being spoken of here. And that is the very actions that are being taken place by such individuals who disregard such knowledge and wisdom that are the stability of our times. That's what they're doing. They're just tossing it behind their back. They're counting it as trash. Something that they don't need to take heed to, that they don't really need to listen to because, hey, they got it all figured out based off their own mind. Verse 26, Proverbs chapter 1, verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. So when shit hits the fan, however shit hits the fan, when it does hit the fan, hey, that stability is going to laugh. That stability is going to mock. The Most High is going to mock all of those who weren't able to receive this wisdom, who made a conscious decision to disregard such knowledge and wisdom. When their calamity falls on top of their head, the Most High will laugh. The Most High will mock. That is what's working on happening, Mashpika. This is why we must take these times very seriously. This is why we must take this time to be sure that we're on fire for the Most High. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Continuing forward here. Verse 27, Proverbs chapter 1, verse 27. When your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. Verse 28, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So the Most High is going to ignore all of those individuals when shit hits the fan. Every last person who disregarded the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Most High, he will ignore each and every person who has taken this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding lightly to the point to where they count it as trash. They count it as waste. These individuals will be laughed at the Most High when their destruction cometh upon their own head. They will be made fun of and mocked. Thus saith Yahweh. Verse 29. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 29. For they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh. They hated knowledge and they did not choose the fear of Yahweh. Verse 30. They were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. They didn't want nothing to do with it. They said, man, I ain't trying to hear none of that, man. Get out of my face with that. Man, let me go ahead and unsubscribe from this because I'm tired of hearing this bullshit. I don't want to hear it no more. They had all these attitudes. These are the attitudes that these individuals had that is being spoken of here in Proverbs chapter 1. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 31. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. So that recompense is going to come. That recompense that will be equal to the wickedness and the evil that they thrived upon. Yeah, that's going to come upon them. That desolation, that destruction that's being mentioned of. That's what's coming. Now we're going to jump to the book of Wisdom of Solomon and conclude this understanding of the knowledge and wisdom that is important for our stability in these times. We're going to conclude it in the book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. Starting at verse 1. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. So think of Yahweh with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. Read the scriptures, meditate on the scriptures, thank the Most High, bless the Most High, all in Yahweh's name. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Verse 2. For he will be found of them that tempt him not. For he will be found of them that tempt him not. For he will be found of them that tempt him not. And showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. So the same people that disregarding knowledge and wisdom are also the same people that do not trust in the Most High. These same individuals that do not trust in the Most High are also the same individuals that tempt him with their foolishness of wickedness. That's who's being described here. These same individuals that lack the stability from on high, mentioned in Isaiah 33 and 6. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 verse 3. For forward thoughts separate from Alahayim. Forward thoughts, perverse thoughts, thoughts that are not in sync with righteousness, thoughts that are wicked, right? That's what forward thoughts are. Bad thoughts, wicked thoughts, evil thoughts. They separate from the Most High. And his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. So that's the rebuke. That's the flaming rebuke. That's the sharp rebuke that takes action in the form of judgment. In the form of judgment and recompense. Yeah. When his power, when it's tried, when it's tempted, when it is challenged, with disobedience, it reproves the wise through judgment and recompense. Verse 4. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 4. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter. For into a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter. For into a malicious soul, that's a wicked soul. That's a foolish, perverse, and evil soul, right? A soul that operates contrary to the Most High. That is a malicious soul. For into a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. So that same malicious soul is subject unto sin. The same individuals that throw this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding behind their back, they are subject unto sin. And don't get me wrong, everybody sins. But being subject unto sin is being engulfed by sin. Sins of an individual that are lifted up, sins that are exalted to make one a sinner, one who has pleasure in such offenses, operating contrary to the law of the Most High. That's all I have. May peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. Shalom.